But today was bad. Light work, people. Light work. Seems we're soft all over the pitch. Yo, people. Welcome back to another amazing Calling Khan show that we've got lined up for you. And the beauty of these shows is, you know, I've got to be fair, guys, to you, right? I'm feeling a bit. I feel a bit. What's the word I'm looking for? I don't feel right because I call it Calling Khan like it's only me they're going to be speaking to, right? Whereas the majority of the people probably want to speak to you guys and us joke and have a laugh, but I don't put you guys in the title. So I may change it to Calling Redfellas very soon.
No,
and,
it's fine.
And Grizz, while you're at it, you can put me in the Redfellas intro as well because I'm not in it.
No way. Are you serious?
That is a bit of a nasty one, yeah. Well, to be fair, you were my recruit, Evan. So
yeah, it's true. I'm the freshest blood. You know what I mean?
You do know. Okay, in my defense, you do know that was a temporary.
Yes.
That was a temporary one. So we're
to get some kind of video. Yeah.
We're working on the real one. We're working on the good one.
Absolutely.
But people, most welcome. There's already over 50 of you eager beavers. You lot are legends. Cali G. Okay, what's going on there?
Yeah, he's calling us Californians. Yeah.
Caninos.
Calling all look Caninos.
I like that.
Canino is a good
Can
name.
you explain to me what does that mean? Like I don't know.
Well, I thought you said Cali G, like Cali G is like me and Evan, but then he's calling out all us Caninos.
Calling all Caninos. I like that.
Oh, okay, I like it. Yeah, listen, Fahim's right. Diaz watched today, man. 100%.
Yeah, 3:30.
Diaz watched today.
3:30.
But he's ours now. We don't need to be Diaz watching. People, the stream link is in the chat. I will be giving priority to people that haven't been on before, because it's fun like that. Guys that come on all the time, we know you're part of the family, but I'm going to be giving priority to the people that haven't been on before or not much before. But yeah, the day after the drama, how are you feeling, Evan? After the drama that we witnessed live while we were live on stream. No, you wasn't, but I'm sure you tuned in. You don't miss a show. I know you don't miss a show.
I'm diligent. Diligent.
How are you feeling now, the day after, man? After the night before?
I'm finding it hard to be too disappointed about the anticlimax that was Liverpool's final hour of the transfer window, because comparing where my expectations and my head was at on January 1st compared to where it was at on January 30th, it's night and day. There's absolutely no comparison. Liverpool bought somebody for a lot of money, and Liverpool were trying to snap up a wonder kid in the burning the midnight oil, trying to make that happen. So again, my standards were so low, my expectations were so low. So to shell out, upwards of 40, 50 million for someone who we're all pretty familiar with at this point. Yeah. It's hard to feel hard done by, to be honest. It's hard to have that damper the mood.
You're on mute. Can you unmute yourself? What is this, man? He's getting embarrassing and cheesy and cringy.
Dear.
You weren't gonna butt in. Just let him talk. It's fine.
No, I tell you why I fucking mute myself, and I'm very open like this because people know I'm real. I don't give a shit.
Did you pass win?
Yeah, I mute myself when I want to fart or burp.
Oh, word.
So, look, I'm being honest with you guys.
That's
real. That's real. It's very real.
Man, as real as you can get. So when I'm looking to do something, I just go on mute. I don't want the people to know what I'm doing. You know what I mean? But
Keith Khan, according to the chat. Not my words. Their words.
Okay. Listen, people, keep coming in, keep liking, keep smashing that like button as you come in. There's 150 of you guys now and here. We're gonna bring in callers one by one. I believe we have.
He asks you the question they didn't want to ask me about yesterday, but that's fine. It's totally fine.
I was with you.
Yeah. Okay.
I was with you last night.
I could have built some emotions up after the show. Once it was set and done and it was confirmed. But
no problem, sir. No problem. How are you feeling after the?
Nah, I'm joking. Happy. No, look, I'm feeling happy. Look, 10 days ago, majority of fans didn't think we were going to do any business. So to get a player of Luis Diaz is quality, and I don't need to keep harping on about it, but for me it was a great window. Cavalier would have been, the icing on the cherry on the ice, the icing on the cherry, the icing on the cake. There you go.
What's more embarrassing?
Christ.
Me accidentally going on mute because I want to flirt, or you doing these cringe?
I forget.
don't
Listen, you got to
know,
remember, I'm
you've never
transitioning to an American now, so some of the quotes,
No, Avi,
I'm forgetting the British.
you swung 3 times in less than a second, and you didn't get any of them. By the way.
Look, I'm happy, and
This
look,
is bad.
it is what it is with Cavalier. I know Evan was changing his Twitter name every day. He had Luis Diaz at Soccer God, then he had Fabio Cavalier at Luis Diaz, then he's gone back to Evan again. So God knows what the summer will bring. Jude at Soccer God.
It's called being festive. It's called being festive, Avi. It's called.
But
listen, guys,
let's get the call
enough of your waffle on. Basically, the mood is we're absolutely cool. We're absolutely calm about what happened. There's absolutely no issues from my side. He was supposed to be on loan for the rest of the season anyway. Even if he wasn't, Jurgen Klopp rarely throws in a newcomer, into the attack or midfield actually, and says, "Here you go." So everything is good, man. Everything is calm. I'm going to get in Mr. Sadiq Edwards, who I believe is a first-time caller. Most welcome, sir. How are you?
Not too bad. Tired, long day at work, but all good. Thanks for having me on.
It's not a problem, brother. It's only a pleasure. What would you like to speak about? And tell us first and foremost, who do you support?
I'm a Liverpool fan. You normally catch me on Coppish. That's why I was introduced to you. Been a long time supporter of those guys over there. And
amazing.
Yeah.
Big up the brothers at Coppish always.
For real.
Big up yourself for calling in, my friend. What would you like to speak about?
Yeah, so as a long time supporter, supporting Liverpool, bloody hell, almost 38 years.
Wow.
So it gives you a little interest into what age I'm at. But anyway, but yeah,
Sadiq, just to interrupt, you've seen it all, then you've seen the success, you've seen the period.
He was going to come to that, innit? If you didn't interrupt him, and just be polite and say,
but sorry, and I did say, I said sorry to interrupt, but he's seen it all.
He did, to be fair.
The usual conversation flow usually goes, so I've been supporting Liverpool for 38 years, so I've seen everything. But, I'm so sorry about it, Sadiq. Carry on, bro.
That's fine. It's absolutely fine. It's all good, Abby. So I have seen it all, and so been there to give rival fans some jip, and then obviously had to take a lot of jip from rival fans. Do you know what I mean? And it's been a ride. Do you know what I mean? There's been many times. I remember one time. Sorry to bring up Coppish, but one time I went on Coppish and I asked the guys there, like, what was there ever like a turning point in your support where you was like ready to like renounce Liverpool as your team? Do you know what I mean? And I said for me it was a Champions League final in 2005. Do you know what I mean? Because I couldn't bear the thought of like being 3-0 down at half time and I was just getting jip from like other friends. Do you know what I mean? I just, thought we looked like with the joke of England. Do you know what I mean? I was just ready to just say, you know what, burn my Barnes top. And I didn't do that, but I'm just saying, like, I was that close, and obviously,
that would have been bad. Like,
and then the comeback of comebacks happened, and but yeah, I've got to be honest, I was a bit disappointed. So let's be real. For me, with the transfer saga, like. When I heard about Diaz, like watching it on yours and watching on Coppish and other people, football terrorists and stuff like that, I'm saying for me, as a Liverpool fan, been heartbroken many times. Do you know what I mean? So I said until I see the guy in the shirt, it's not confirmed for me. Do you know what I mean? Once that was confirmed, relax. I've then heard about Carvalho, and I wasn't that gassed about him, to be fair, until I started hearing other people like Grizz talking about him. I heard some guy, a Fulham supporter, talking about him, and then I started to get a bit hyped because obviously on YouTube they can make anyone look good. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Even Avi's got clips of him when he was a kid on YouTube. You know,
exactly.
To be fair, I wasn't too bad. Grizz. Come on.
Yeah.
So yeah. Well, YouTube went around when I was a kid. Do you know what I mean?
Otherwise, we would have been smoking it on YouTube.
Exactly. Black and white TV was about when I was a kid. But anyway, so yeah, I wasn't too gassed up about him, and even some people turned around and said, is he like the Coutinho replacement? So I was quite interested in seeing that develop, and I think, I was knackered last night, so I went to bed relatively early. I think about 9:30 I was in bed, because I'm up at 5 to get to work, and so I went to sleep, and I woke up about 1, and I checked in, and I think you guys were no. I woke up just after 11, and I checked in. You were live, and then I saw that the deal hadn't gone through, and I was like, "Sake," do you know what I mean? And that's the thing. Do you know what I mean? It's sort of like I'm so. I guess I'm disappointed because I dared to believe. Do you know what I mean? I dared to believe, and I'm not too cut up about it because it does sound like there might be like trying to arrange a pre-agreement in place, and we'll look to check him. I think in June or something like that. So. There's hope, but I suppose moving forward, and what I want to end on is just that, like, very happy about Diaz, like really, really, really happy about Diaz, and it's been a long time since we can all get excited about a prospect coming forward and hopefully hit the ground running. Do you know what I mean? I do have faith in Klopp, and from what I've seen of, like, even when we played Porto, everyone was saying Diaz was the main man. Do you know what I mean? And he showed his quality. But moving forward, I suppose I'm a bit concerned with Mane. Mane is one of my favourite players, and I don't know if, like, obviously they're talking about it means the end for maybe one of those two, Mane and Firmino. Do you know what I mean? I love Firmino, but like, he hasn't been. Would they move into midfield or would they get rid? Do you know what I mean? I just wanted to sort of get your guys' thoughts of where realistically, because I like to be real, I don't like to live in a fantasy world, who you feel would go, and or what you think, like, with this Diaz move, because obviously I like to keep all, but with this Diaz move, who do you think will probably be the one sort of making way?
Yeah, look, I'm going to first take your point, and then I'll let the others come in about sort of the disappointment, and you're absolutely spot on. Until the club officially announces them,
the Fekir would be a grand example of that.
Absolutely. So you was absolutely right in terms of that, thinking like that. But I can pretty much assure you the Carvalho deal will go through. There won't be any problem with that. So, you can relax about that. With the other points, it's the sentimental value, isn't it, of these players? It's the sentiment. I don't know which one of the brothers wants to come in, Avi or Evan, about sort of, look, there does come a point where they're going to need splitting up. It's natural. It's life. It's the cycle of life almost, and it's the cycle of life of a superstar at our club or a hero that we've come to love. Because I sometimes genuinely, even though Mohamed Salah is the man, I genuinely can't differentiate who I love more out of sometimes Bobby and Mane and Salah, because that's how much they mean to me.
Yeah.
And that affection, we don't want them to go, we don't want them to leave, stay with us forever. It's football, man. How many teams have we seen? How many players have we seen through the years that, you got to give up, not give up, but you've got to give them up sometimes. Let a newer, fresher version come up. And I guess I'll go to Avi first and say, look, without doubt, Luis Diaz isn't coming here to be a squad player per se. Of course, he's going to start off. He's a baller in his own right, and he's a younger version of maybe a couple of these. But what's your thoughts, Avi, on Sadiq's points?
Yeah, Sadiq, great points, man. Thanks for coming on as well. Look, Luis Diaz, I've glamorized, every word, and I've used every word out of the dictionary describing Luis Diaz, in a positive light. And he's coming in, and I think he will be one of those that, I know people are saying that, he's a player that will be given time. He doesn't need time. I think he's coming in straight, and challenging the likes of Mane, Bobby, Salah, Jota. I know Salah's made that right hand position him, he's made that his own anyway, but he'll be challenging those positions. And, I think Klopp will rotate him now well until the end of the season, and hopefully we can collect some trophies. And I think with Mane and Bobby, I want to come into this because we're invested in those players, because we've seen her as well, like 2018 Kiev, it was those three, 2017 season where they just tore it up. Those three as a trio should have won some silverware, major silverware that season. But and then we've seen the glory by winning the Champions League and the league, and they've all come together on their own, individually and as a trio. But great managers, they always evolve, and unfortunately players along the way, players that we adore and cherish and will forever cherish, they get moved on. Luis Diaz coming in, it doesn't signal the end for Mane and Bobby, but with the year to run on their contract, both Bobby and Sadio, and I don't see any new contract forthcoming, especially the money that maybe Mane could demand outside of England, in Europe. He's probably, one final paycheck because he's doing great, wonderful things, charitable things back home in Dakar in Senegal. Bobby, he probably wants to see 2-3 years out in Spain and then go back to Brazil where he, originally obviously comes from. So I could see us maybe, if we get, I think it'll be amicable, but in my eyes, I can see both going, Sadiq, this summer. Sadio and Bobby, and then replace him with another quality young forward. That's my take on it. Yeah, I can see them going, and I think it will be amicable. It won't be like, oh, they were forced out. It's one of those where if an offer does come in of, a region, and people might laugh, but a region of 20 million for Sadio or 20 million for Bobby, I think the club would accept it, especially given their ages. They'll both be, well, Bobby's 30 now, going to be 31 in October. Sadio is going to be 30 in April, May. The club might just turn around and say 40 million for both of them in their 30s. They might just well accept and then put that towards a young forward.
Evan, you want to add anything before we move on to?
Yeah, Sadiq, thanks for calling. It's a great question. But it's an uncomfortable question. It makes people in the fan base a bit uncomfortable, But Grizz is right. All good things must come to an end. Nothing in life is permanent.
Thanks, Agent Smith.
So that's just the reality of it. And I would see Sadio going before Firmino, just because I think Bobby's profile as a player is so unique. I don't think there's anything like him in the world, regardless of how effective he is these days. And I think our perception of Mane and his decline over the last 12 months is very different than the rest of the world's perception. Like these guys are saying, he could command a fee in a different league in a different country. So I think he represents more resale value right now. I don't see a world in which we renew both of them. So I guess, if you forced me, I think I would accept an offer for Mane first, because I think Luis Diaz and Mane have very similar profiles. When I first started looking at Luis Diaz, when Avi first started forcing me to look at Luis Diaz over the summer, the first thing I noticed straight away is he's a Mane-like player. I think at Mane's peak, the biggest compliment you could pay to him was he was like having two players on the pitch. And when we missed Mane, it was like missing two players. He was absolutely electric, and was affecting all phases. And I see that same sort of dynamism and electricity from Diaz. So I think like for like, they're pretty similar. So I think I would be more prone to letting Mane go first before Bobby.
Sadiq, before we keep it moving, because we've got about 10 people waiting already.
No worries.
People in the waiting list, I love you all. I've seen some of your faces before. I haven't seen some of your faces until today. I will be giving priority to new faces, because that's the name of the game. That's the name of the show, man. Try to get in new people all the time. So please don't be disheartened. Just bide your time, and if you're going to come in, you're going to come in. Sadiq, before we keep it moving, I want you to tell me, I want to put the question on you. Let's assume that we will get rid of one of the people. I don't want to name them because it hurts me even talking about them like this. But if we have to, who are you taking the money for?
Thanks for putting me on the spot. I'm probably going to give me nightmares tonight. I suppose it's always going to doubt. I'm going to always be biased, I suppose. When and I'll explain my reasoning. When Mane came in, before then we had no pace. Mane came in and we had this electric pace, and case in point, like game against Arsenal. Do you know what I mean? Mane cut in and just drilled. Do you know what I mean? And I get what the other guys were saying in regards of he is very like Mane of old. Do you know what I mean? And I suppose I think of the glory, and I always think of the person scoring the goals. And Mane's and Bobby is not really scoring it. He has been looking good the last few games when he has been playing. Do you know what I mean? And but I also feel Diaz has that sort of Bobby flair as well. And I think I
know. See, if us fans who haven't got any financial bearing and are struggling to make this decision, imagine how Klopp and Kall feel. And this is when people just write off players willy-nilly. Oh, sell him, bring him in. Sell him, bring him in. It ain't easy. It ain't easy.
It's not.
Look at you. I'm literally waiting. I'm sitting here waiting for you to give me an answer. You can't give me an answer.
I think I'm going to sell Bobby.
You cannot make a call here.
I think I'd sell Bobby. I don't know. Mane's still unpredictable. Do you know what I mean? You don't know. You still don't. He's powerful. The tracking back. I know they all do it. But I think Mane set precedent with that. Do you know what I mean? And I don't know. I mean, he's my favorite player. Do you know what I mean? So I think, as I said, that's where the bias comes into it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I will probably shed a tear. The glasses will get all steamed up.
Sadiq,
do you know what I mean?
Bro, we've got a lot of people waiting. It's been amazing chat.
No worries, I'm off to bed, but yeah.
So, my man.
Enough love, and see you again soon. Take care.
See you later, guys.
Bye-bye. Guys, we've got apparently there's only 10 people allowed in the studio, and we've got 10, so people are trying to come in at the same time.
Wow.
Avi, I can't see all of the people in the studio for some reason. If there's any new faces, let me know in my private chat, and I will get them on. I'm going to get Don Smoke in the building. Yes, my brother, how are you doing?
Hey guys, how are you? I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Not too bad, bro. How are you, and how are you feeling?
I'm all right. Still supporting City. I'm happy you guys actually got someone, because it's a pro and a con, and I'll tell you why a con just now.
Okay.
Especially in the winter transfer. From what I know of Klopp, he normally loves a small squad, right? And especially with your front three, they have a very good chemistry and they've been playing for long. Most of them, they're in their prime, so they'll want to play every game. So now when you bring in someone who's a starter in their previous club, they also want the game time. And I don't know if you remember the last time, I think Klopp subbed out Mane, and at the end of the game, he refused to shake his hand. Right? It shows you of that expectancy that he expects to be playing every game, especially now that you're like pushing for that title charge. And they would want to play a key part in almost every game. So I think it'll be interesting to see how Klopp handles those dynamics and how he keeps all players happy. I think that will be one of the biggest challenges that you're going to have for the remaining part of the season. So it will be very interesting to see how that goes.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're spot on. I just wanted to ask you about your business, and I don't think it's being talked about enough. Evan or Avi, do you have any opinions on? Is it Julian Alvarez?
Julian, yeah. Julian Alvarez.
Have you knowledge much up on Julian Alvarez? Or should I take the floor?
I'll let Evan take it if he knows it.
I know he's very fondly thought of back home, and I'm jealous in the sense that I wish Liverpool would sort of emulate this strategy that I think City and the big Spanish giants have of we get first dibs, we get first call when it comes to South America. I think in the past, it's been widely reported that Liverpool were close to Vinicius, Liverpool were close to Rodrigo, and just the influence that the Spanish giants had in South America ultimately led to us missing out on those players. So I think City in their rise have been smart to identify this as a surefire way to make a profit and to develop some future stars. And so I'm very jealous of it. I wish Liverpool would sort of take a leaf out of that book.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, Julian Alvarez, I think, is going to be a stunning little player. Avi, can you not? Can you not? There's someone in the studio who's
I'm gonna do
acting
it
like
now.
a dickhead. Don't you know how to do it?
I've banned it. I've actually banned the guest, but he keeps coming back on.
Regarding that, I'll say I think it's much more easier for the South American players to go into Spain and Portuguese because of the home language. I think there's no communication barriers when they move abroad as opposed to coming to the UK where they have to learn, let's say, maybe English or French or whatnot. So it's always the first preference. So I think with part of our board being Spanish, it makes it much more easier for players who speak Spanish as a first language. I think had you had more Spanish or Portuguese people in your structure, I think you would see such signings. Hence, if you look at Wolves, they're literally like a Portuguese embassy.
Yeah,
Yes,
well
it's
said. Well said.
Yeah,
It's the best
so
I've heard it said. Yeah.
So and him being South American player of the year last year, I think right now we don't really need a striker. So I think it makes sense that signing because we're planning just in case we don't get a big dog like Holland. Vlahovic is gone now, so I don't think there's too much to pick from. So in case we don't get that, and he's a player who's dynamic, can play in the front three. So Pep loves such. And I see it's one of those signings that makes sense.
Do you?
No, absolutely. It's sorry, go on, Evan. Yeah.
Just super quick question. Is he going to require a loan somewhere else in Europe before he can get a work permit, or
no? We're buying him as a first team player.
Okay, gotcha.
Coming straight into the first team.
Gotcha.
Just a matter of when.
So he's 18. He's
actually 22 or 20. He turned 22.
Oh, he's older than I thought. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, he'll get a work permit.
He just turned 22, I think, this week. So
okay, cool.
The first team signing.
Business. It's good business. It's absolutely. Look, Man City have all the money in the world, but what we will say that is they still operate very smartly, and that's another very smart move by Man City, man. Hope he doesn't do very well for you. That's all I can say. Done smoke. It's been a pleasure.
I'd say the same about Diaz. Hopefully they fight.
But listen, pleasure as always, man. Talking to you.
All right, cheers,
thanks
man.
For
thanks
coming
for
in, my
having me,
brother.
guys.
Look after yourself.
Take care, guys.
See you, Don.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Cheers. Bye.
Next up, we got Has. Hus. Is that Hus for Hussein or Hus for Hassan? You're on mute.
Yeah, how you doing, man? Sorry, I was on mute.
All good.
You're right.
Mute curse is spreading throughout the subscribers.
Yeah, it's like Keith. I remember he always does it, innit?
Man, exactly.
Yep.
How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, it's Haas.
Good.
Yeah, for Hussein. But yeah, I'm good, man.
I knew it was one of them.
Yeah, I'm all right. How you guys? Everything
good?
good?
We're doing good, man. We're doing
all good, man.
Yeah.
Talk to us.
No, I just wanted to speak about like more. I know we signed Diaz and everyone's happy about that. And I'm over the moon really. But I wanted to chat about 2023 and the contract situation regarding 5, quite important players. It looks like the club have decided they don't want to give Mane and Firmino a contract. Obviously, I'm just assuming, but it looks like they've decided they're going to give Salah the contract, but not the other two. We've seen in the past the club they're not scared to let players like Gini and Emre leave on a free. Do you think we let them leave on a free and just take that financial hit where we don't get a fee for them, or should we sell them this summer and get a bit of money in so we can refresh the team further? Because I just think we're going to let these guys leave on a free, and I don't think we should do that because the way we run, I think we need to bring in a fee for them players. It's just not great business decisions, basically. And I think if the club know they're not going to offer these players deals, we should look to sell both, I think, of this summer. That's just what I think. But I don't know what you guys think.
Yeah,
should
that's a great
sell
question. I'm gonna put that straight to the guys because we did touch upon it very briefly with the first. But you've asked a very, very good question there, and it's probably one of the questions on most Liverpool fans' lips. Mr. Blue Chip, what are you saying about that, man?
Yes,
it's an awkward one and it's a tricky one.
It's an awkward one because they might get paid smartly elsewhere. and it's probably their real sort of last sort of contract. Both Bobby, because Bobby's 31 and Sadia's coming. He's going to be 30 in April, May. So
Yeah.
they probably expect sort of not similar money to Salah or what that because I think that's separate. But they'll probably be asking for high wages, and I think the model and the way we sort of sustain ourselves. I don't think we'll pay that for them too. I don't think we'll pay that for Mane or Bobby. So I think this summer, I think we will invite offers. I don't know what Evan thinks how much we can fetch for them, but a year to go, I think if we can get 20 for both, like individual offers up to like 40 million for both of them, and get someone in younger, there is talent out there. I look at someone like Amin Guri who plays for Nice. I think, is another player that I'm a big fan of. I think he could come in and just learn that position.
Can I interject, please? Because I've heard you say this twice now, and I want to rebuttal you.
Okay.
With the permission of Haas, if you don't mind.
Yeah,
of course.
Thank you.
Asking permission.
I know it's your question, and I know you want to. Do you genuinely think we bought Luis Diaz? You genuinely think we're going to get rid of 2 of our strike force this summer? And then at the same time, you've also suggested in the past we're going to get rid of 2 of our central midfielders, or possibly 1. I don't know. Do you really mean that, or is this?
I think Grizz.
I think getting carried away here.
No, it's not being carried away. Look, I would love them to stay, but the club's got to make a decision. Do they just let them play and go on a free transfer next summer?
Going to do, or are you thinking what you would do? Because I think
I'm thinking from a club's point of view. I'm looking for a club's point. If
it
was me,
what? No way both
okay. I tell you what I would do. I tell you what I would do. If they're not going to sign a new contract, we're not going to renew their contract. Instead of letting them go for free, and we can talk about the service that they've provided and they've been loyal and whatnot. But if we can get 40 million for both of them, I would sell them, Huss. I actually would sell them, and I would get in another forward. And then you're looking at just example. There's no in the no stuff here. Someone like Diaz, Jota, Salah. Then you've got, an Amin Guri, and then you've got maybe a Cade Gordon because he's going to be 18. There's a lot of flexibility there. I honestly think, Grizz, we could see offers for both of them this summer. Because Bobby has said he would love to spend 2 to 3 years out in Spain. No, hold on 1 minute. Bobby has said he would love to spend 2-3 years out in Spain before he retires in Brazil. Now is the perfect age because he'll be 31. I can give you quotes. I can show you quotations.
WhatsApp it to me now.
Okay. No, I'll put it on the show. I'll put it on the slide.
Put it on the slide. Put it on the show.
I would be shocked. I would be surprised if we both see them at the beginning of next season, and I'll be surprised if we see one of them next season. I'll be surprised if we see one of them even next season.
I agree with the first part. I'll be shocked. I'll be absolutely shocked. In fact, there's less than 10% chance.
Don't talk percentages, Grizz. Let's not talk percentages now. We know your previous percentages.
Evan, I don't know if you want to bring some rationality and logic to this.
Listen, I'm not gonna talk about what I would do. I'll just talk about what I think the club is gonna do. I think the club will be looking to cash in on one of them this summer. And personally, I think that player is gonna be Mane. Mane has a higher market value than Firmino. Mane is probably more in demand than Firmino. Keep in mind his status as one of the biggest athletes his continent has produced in the last 20 years. The marketability of that needs to be talked about. And what I could see happening is, so assuming Mane goes and Firmino stays for the remainder of his contract, I can see Firmino getting sort of like a minimum extension towards the end of his contract. Like, hey, we're not going to give you, 4 or 5 years like we're going to give Mo, but we'd be happy to extend you just on sort of like a Milner-like basis. The option is here for you if you want to retire here. If you want to stay here, we'd love to have you. But if you'd like to move on, that's fine as well. That's what I see the club doing. And again, my thinking behind that is that I think Firmino's profile of player is more unique than Mane's. And I think we would probably gain a little more from keeping him around. Whereas with Diaz, I think we have someone very similar to Mane.
Huss, what do you think? What would you like to see? Forget what do you think the club... Well, actually, go on, give us both, because such a good question.
I think basically...
Tell us what you think the club will do. Tell us what you would do.
I think the club will probably sell Mane purely because he's got market value as more than Firmino. I think we can probably get a decent fee for him. But I don't want to see us... I don't think we're in a position where we can allow players like Mane and Firmino's caliber to leave on a free. I think we should be looking to bring in money for them, whether that's 20 million, 30 million. Because you see Thiago, for example, the way we bought him, Bayern Munich knew that he's got a year left. They thought, you know what, we'll sell him, get 20 million from Liverpool. We should be doing something like that as well, rather than letting a player of that quality just leave. So I would personally, I know they've done great things for us. We've won with them, and I love them both, players, legends. But I'd probably sell both of them, even though it's a tough decision. I just think we have to, because the way we know the model, right? So I would sell both, bring in the money wherever it is, and go again. Maybe bring in like a Amin Guri, whoever.
You've hit the nail on the head there, Huss, and I don't think Grizz is realizing it's a business decision.
Yeah,
They're not going to lose out on, if we get 15 to 20 million for Bobby, we're not going to reject that in the summer. We won't let him sit out and go on a free. We'll think of it as a business. And look, it's kept us in good stead. Every decision that this club makes when it comes to transfers, relatively, 9 times out of 10, they come up trumps. That's why I see that if there is 40 million on the table for both of them, 20 million each in the summer, I think we get rid of it instead of, Evan said, extension, or, give them a new contract, because we're not going to pay Mane or Bobby over 200, 230 that they might demand a week.
It's only because I feel like we either give them the deal or we sell them now, because I don't think we could let them leave for free. It's just too much of a financial hit.
I disagree with you guys.
Really?
Yeah.
Huss will clip this. I'll clip this straight off the show.
And because of the examples that you've given in the past in terms of Emre Can, Gini Wijnaldum, who else under their tenure has been allowed to go?
Mainly those, I think.
Mainly those. But in the past, Steve McManaman, in the past, Owen. But the point I'm trying to get to is we're at that stage where both of them will have given 5 years, Evan? 5 years of 5-6 years of tremendous service. And for the money that they were bought and for the wages that they've been on relatively, especially Mane, we will have maximized that contract for them in terms of monetary gain for us and worth. So therefore, they won't look at it as a loss if we let them go on a free. I get what you're saying from the asset point of view, sellable assets. I absolutely get that. But Jurgen Klopp doesn't look at it like that. Jurgen Klopp will not let 2 of his talisman out of his 3 main attackers be sold in one summer. From what I know of Klopp in terms of what I see, not like as if I know him personally, but from how he operates and the human being that he is, I don't see any situation in any world that he lets Bobby and Mane go. He may reluctantly, and it will be reluctantly, because he's that kind of manager where it works in his favor and it does work against him as well. His loyalty, his love, his passion for his players. He treats them like his family. It will be reluctantly. It will be absolutely on their choice as well, and it will be amicable. I think he would let one go. I think there's less than 10% chance of both of them being let go. It wouldn't make any sense at all, in my opinion. And I also disagree with the Mane. I think Bobby Firmino's place is at most risk. Place, I mean, like position at Liverpool. I think Bobby, even though he will have less suitors, I think his place would be. But look, it is interesting and exciting, and some aspects worrying. Not worrying. What's the word? Sad times that one of them will have to eventually leave. That's the way of the wicked world. That's the way life works. But yeah, man, it was a good question, and it got 3 different answers, I guess, which you want, right? Opinions.
Definitely.
Listen, thank you very much for coming in, my brother.
No worries, man.
Look up.
No worries.
Nice talking to you, man. See you.
Yep. Have a good one, guys. Cheers.
Okay, I see some new
It's going to be a
faces.
tasty summer. I tell you that, Evan. It's going to be a tasty summer.
Avi, can you let in Scott Willie, because that's a new face I haven't seen before as well.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, lads.
Hey, man. How are you?
Can you hear me?
We can hear you loud and clear, Scott. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. Calling from the
Good.
States.
I think you got some noise in the background.
Oh, okay. Hold on a second. Lads, turn on the TV, will you? Just give me a second.
No worries, Scott. Take your time.
Someone from the States.
How are we doing now?
Good.
I'm calling from Kansas City. We just had a very lousy weekend over here.
Amazing.
You can blame Patrick Mahomes for that.
Yeah. Well, if the defense can stop people scoring, that'll be good too.
Come on, man. What would you like to speak about, bro?
Just following on from your points about Mane and Firmino, and you kind of actually stole it there. I would have thought that if one of them is going to go, if I was FSG, I would be probably selling Mane for the reasons mentioned. I think he's got the higher resale value. I don't know if PSG might bite this summer if they get Mbappe away to Real. They might look at a quick fix there, and they're always good for a buck. And I think Bobby is a better skill set. He's got a more unique skill set for Liverpool. And even if you got somebody in that was like Bobby, it would take a long time to get him to be like Bobby in Liverpool. Because that's not an easy system to learn. And I think you've already got him there. And unlike the others, Bobby doesn't require speed. On the wings like that, Mane, you need a speedster. And Mane has kind of lost a bit of a step, and if he hasn't, he will soon. I think Bobby could function at a fairly high level for 2 or 3 years and not necessarily need to be particularly quick. He just needs to be operating around that center area, doing stuff with the savvy he has. And he could be very useful. And I think he'd be more satisfied in a sporting role than Mane would. I think Mane, as you see when he gets subbed, he doesn't like it.
It's very disgruntled, yeah.
Yeah, and with Diaz here now, which was an amazing, surprising, outrageous signing, I think Mane's, he's going to be grumbling if he's not getting those starts. Bobby, I don't think will. I think Bobby will step in and step up when you need him.
That's another some brilliant points there again. It's true.
Mm-hmm.
Scott's made some brilliant points. I'm going to let you, Evan, handle them first and foremost.
Yeah, I think me and Scott are sort of on the same wavelength when it comes to who we think might go and who we think might stay. And
you're being outnumbered by the Yanks, Grizz.
I always am on this show. This is why my back stiffens up when they argue against me. I'm fighting two of them. And now three.
I just, it just makes sense to me, And again, the club have caught me by surprise and proven me wrong plenty of times. I'm sure. If the exact opposite ends up happening, I'm sure they'll have a compelling case as to why they did that. So, Firmino, as we know, it's never been about speed with him. It's always just been about making things happen with the ball in certain situations that nobody else can do. I think the evolution of the team this season has maybe moved on from the false nine a bit. We've seen what sort of a poacher, classic striker Jota can be through the middle, and what that has done for the team just in terms of sheer output. That could be the next real evolution of this team. But I think having Firmino as sort of like a trump card that you can play, like, holy crap, on the 60th minute, Liverpool switched into 17-18 Liverpool with a true false nine. You know what I mean? I think that can sort of catch teams off guard. But like I said, with Luis Diaz, I just think his skill set is so similar to Mane's in terms of, physicality and what they excel at. I just think, it just makes sense to cash in on a player that we have two player profiles of, as opposed to just one in Firmino. So,
and ironically, the better team that you play, the better Bobby is nearly. If you go up against a Chelsea, he can sit on Kante.
Absolutely.
If you go up against Man City, he can give Rodri a horrible time.
Yeah, that's the rationale for it. There's been plenty of times this season where we were going up against, Chelsea. I wanted Bobby in there just to pester Jorginho, just to make sure that they couldn't conduct the tempo and things like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
Grizz, you're muted, Grizz. I don't think he notices yet.
No, I knew that. I'm just testing.
Okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha, Grizz. Yeah.
No, I was just going to ask for Avi's opinions, but I don't think he's been listening to the conversation.
No, I have been. I think.
You
Scott,
have been. Okay.
Scott, you've hit the. No, I think you're right, Scott. I think that Bobby can bring more. He can change positions. I thought against Chelsea, he started off the season really well up until the hamstring injuries. I thought he was really good. I think the Chelsea game, he's really playing well against Chelsea. Then he got brought off. And he looked a different Bobby this season. He's had a bit of a rest. But like you said, it's value, isn't it? And I think Sadio does hold his, and I think PSG is a club that could come knocking for him because they've got Mario Icardi. I think they want to get rid of this summer finally after a couple of seasons there. Mbappe, who seemingly looks like as if he's going to Madrid. They're paying Julian Draxler out on the wing. I think they could come in for a Sadio Mane. A 20 million bid, 25 million, and give him the wages, that final paycheck that he rightfully deserves. Whether it's 200 plus. I think PSG would be a good club for him. And the French is the French league is relatively competitive, and I think he will shine there as well.
Just a very quick, just go for a super chat, and I'll get your opinion on this, Scott, why we got you here as well. So he says, Samunske, who's a regular in the chat, big up Samunske. Was that a Japanese, right? And none of us were.
Yeah, I saw that the other day. Yeah.
You absolute shitheads. None of you lot knew that was Japanese. Shame on you.
I wasn't on the show, but I said it yesterday. His name, Samunuski.
No, you didn't know.
I wasn't on the show that day when you lot couldn't pronounce his name. It was you guys without me.
Yeah, but you didn't know either. So don't make out you knew.
If I'm not on the show.
Scott, he says only way I'll entertain Mane's sale if we get Jude. That would
you get Jude, that's the ball game, so to speak. I mean, we're all salivating over Jude Bellingham. That's who we all want. That's the final piece in the puzzle, really. But I'm not sure he's gettable this summer. I mean, Dortmund don't like to do two big guys out, and we know Haaland's gone.
Oh yeah.
So I mean,
but also we know what we know with Dortmund is you're right. They very rarely let two go. But what we also know about them is they have a set price, and if
as everybody,
they let you go. And they've set his price around the 100 million euros mark. So,
I mean, if you can get him for 100 million and Dortmund are willing to do that, then I think you have to do it.
So 100 million euros, how much is that, guys? That's
about 80 million, 82, 83 million euros.
About 80 million in pounds. Yeah.
I mean, if I was FSG, I would probably get on to Dortmund as soon as possible and find out, is he going this summer? Sound them out. I mean, I think you'll find out pretty quickly whether he's sellable or the number they give you is just so big that he's not going to go this summer. I think next summer, you probably get him for a more reasonable price because he'd be closer to the end of his deal. And I'd just go get Tchouaméni. I mean, I think Tchouaméni's the guy because the one problem we have all year, and it's the elephant in the room, is that we don't have a Fabinho backup.
Yep.
And Fabinho wears down. Jordan Henderson used to be able to do that, but even when he did, he couldn't do it against the best teams. I mean, he'll do it against Watford. He won't do it against City. And Tchouaméni's a beast, and he's young, and you stick him in that squad, learning from Fabinho. And I mean, you look at the best teams. I mean, City have Rodri, they got Fernandinho, even though he's a bit old. Chelsea have how many sixes of different types, and they're looking for Tchouaméni as well. I mean, you need backup in that position. We got a bunch of attacking mids. Do
you know the funny thing is, Scott? I genuinely believe this, guys. I think there's more clubs after Tchouaméni than there is Bellingham right now.
100%, because the figures being quoted for Tchouaméni are in the realm of realism, and the ones that are being quoted for Bellingham are not for any club. So I'm right there with you, Scott. I think you could wait an extra year for Bellingham and see if you can knock 20-30 million off the quoted 100. But unfortunately, our midfield rebuild needs to happen this summer, not next.
Oh, absolutely. If Bellingham is available this summer, get him. But it's the Diaz thing. It's like, we'll wait till next summer, but if we get a sniff of somebody coming in, we're getting in there first. He's our target. He's our guy. But right now, this summer, Tchouaméni's gettable and he's necessary. Next summer, the Henderson problem becomes a real problem. And we need Bellingham, who is the ideal replacement for Hendo.
Have you going to say something?
I think we can see a bit of a merry-go-round. I can see actually, and this is just, this is what I think could happen. Ryan Gravenberch going to Dortmund and then we get a run at Bellingham.
Yeah.
Not trying to get
Yeah.
hopes up here, but I think that could work as well. I think
I know
Raiola's the only. It's probably the only club that Raiola's got like a half decent relationship with,
Yeah.
because obviously Daniel Malin's there. So I think he might want to pay up Gravenberch to Dortmund for a year or so, because he's still 19, 20. And then Bellingham, let's see. Hopefully we've got that kind of money to stamp up for him.
Yeah.
Scott, was there anything else that you wanted to speak on?
No, I'm good. Thank you for the time. It was great fun being
Scott,
on.
you've been
Thanks,
an
Scott.
amazing caller, man. We really enjoyed speaking to you, man.
All
Hope
right.
to chat to you again.
Sorry about the Chiefs, Scott.
No worries. You know,
Take care of yourself, my man. Look after yourself.
Pleasure, guys. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. Just a couple of super chats I need to get through. Young lad says, "Hi, Grizz. Hope you and the team are well. If you get a chance, put the link in the chat again, please, bro. Bro, the studio was full. Basically, that's why I took the stream out. The studio is slowly emptying. I've still got about 6 people, and then I'll put it back in the chat if we've got time. Appreciate the super chat. Our man Simonske says, honestly, are there 5 better left wing, left forwards than Mane in the world right now? I don't know.
Yes.
Man.
Yes.
You know what I'm going to say next then?
I'm sorry?
You know what I'm
Go
going
on,
to say next?
name 2, 3 then.
No, why not name 5 of them?
Well, Guri is one of them.
Better than Mane.
Left wing?
No, I think better is the wrong word. If someone
that's
a
the
replacement
question,
for Mane,
that's the
replacement for Mane, then I would say Guri.
That's
But
the
you spoke of him as a central option. Your words.
Yes,
not
but he
mine.
can play off the left. But if
Okay.
he comes off the left with Nice and then plays a 9 at times.
Which one is it, Avi? He comes off the left and plays.
Under Gauthier, he's playing more centrally, but before last season, he was playing off the left.
I don't think that you can't say he's conclusively better than Sadio Mane right now. That's.
I would say this season he
That's
has been 100%. This season he has been. I think you're talking out your asses if you think he hasn't been. That's my personal view. How much of Nice have you seen this season? Both.
No,
of you?
I'm not saying that I've seen as much as you. I'm just saying conclusively better than Mane. That's a bold
just
shout.
fancy talk.
That's bold.
Mane this season, his goals have come from the box. His output has been average.
Check every stat.
The two guys, the two names that come.
We will do.
I'm not saying these are replacements. I'm saying they're simply better than Mane. The 2 names come to mind: Neymar and Mbappe, both better off the left wing than Sadio Mane currently in 2022.
I think he might mean. I think he might mean options that would come to the club. I don't think.
Okay.
Well, I think that's
it just says 5 better left wingers
yeah.
than Mane in the world. I think there
Well,
are.
someone
Right?
said
Come on,
last
saying you
year
should do it better than that. Saying come on.
Avi's coming out with what you mean, like, because he couldn't answer the question. He's
Yeah.
trying to
Let's not dive into. Avi, let's read it literally. All right, let's read it literally.
Got to protect
Heung-min
my
Son.
man. I've got to protect this thing.
Here's one guy.
Yeah, brilliant season. Finally, he's turning up.
Son over the past year and a half has been a better left winger than Sadio Mane. That for me is without debate. He has the highest chance conversion rate in Europe.
I do struggle to name 5, Evan. I do struggle.
I mean,
my head.
I think we have 4 between us. Between us all right now, we have 4.
Would you say last season's Dortmund Sancho last season was better?
He wasn't playing off the left much, was he?
No, he was playing off the right, and
Yeah.
we're talking about right now.
Talking about right now, I do have to. Christopher Nkunku has played a lot out wide.
Oh, here we
this
go.
season.
He's on this train, isn't he, Chris? He's a problem.
Okay. He's not. I won't throw him in there because he's not a natural left winger, and he's
Yeah,
only
no.
played there.
You can't,
Yeah.
If we didn't let Gori get in there, you can't have.
Yeah,
Nkunku
no
in there.
Nkunku.
Is that fair?
then.
Sane's been in sensational form this season for Bayern, and he's played off the left this season. Sane. So
That's
I
true.
think he's
Okay,
good.
so yeah, Sane's been good. Heung-min Son over the past year and a half, definitely. Neymar and Mbappe, definitely better left wingers than Mane right now. Wasn't always the case, but right now, definitely. Shit.
Someone said Jack Grealish.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus.
All right. Well,
Evening.
we'll leave that with Evan. We'll have a chat about sort of 5.
We'll leave that with the chat.
think we'll
Chat.
do-
Who else are we forgetting? And they have to be a natural left winger, not someone who's played left wing 3 times this season and was decent.
See,
They have
the
to be
thing is, right, the signing of Luis Diaz has messed up our plans for the transfer show that we were planning to do, where we were going to look at 5 potential left wingers, 5 potential right wingers, 5 potential forwards. Well, we've got our left winger that we were going to talk about, and Luis Diaz was one of the ones on the list.
A lot of hate for Guri in the chat. A lot of hate for Guri.
Well, it's
No,
not
no,
hate. I think it's
Avi,
Not
Avi,
hate.
you-
No, I'm not saying
Avi,
genuine hate. Come on, I'm
it's
saying
only hate
interesting.
because they've heard you
Say,
lambast.
compare him
They've
to
heard
Sadio
you.
Mane.
They've heard you glamorize him as like a Firmino replacement, and then now you're
These
trying
guys
to
are going to be
say.
the same guys come summer if he joins. They're going to say, Avi, Guri.
No, I hope he joins. I think he's a great player, but
Let's
to
see.
say he is conclusively better than Mane, no, definitely not. Can't say that conclusively.
I think
You know,
Neil, this is more your level. You know, the under 23s, Avi, please leave the big dogs to the big dogs. Yeah. Neil H says, evening lads. Avi, what's happened to Balagizi?
James Balaguer. I tell you what's happened. He's found it tough, that transition from the academy level to the under 23s, where he's found wanting. So, you know, he's still 18. You know, we've got to be patient. He's just a kid. So I still think he will be in our midfield soon. Within the next sort of 18 months, he will. I think he'll be in our squad 100%. I think he's a top talent.
What a shout from Alex, resident.
No, way too inconsistent. Come on, Alex.
Coleman has been inconsistent. No, Coleman has been injured a lot, but when he's been playing, he's not been inconsistent. He's been fantastic for Bayern, but just way too injury prone, and that would really count.
Harvey Barnes, Grizz, has he been better over the course of the last 18 months only?
but before he got that nasty injury,
yeah.
he was right up there with every winger in Europe statistically. But then that injury came, and
How's this? If we switch up the question, he says, Hassan, how many clubs would take Mane? I'm certain all the top teams in the league would 100%, and that's a fair shout. I seriously, genuinely don't think which team wouldn't take Sadio Mane. Honestly, guys, even Man City would take Sadio Mane.
I think it's better to talk about which teams around Europe would take Mane because we're not going to sell him to anyone in England.
No, yeah, I get that aspect. Yeah. We've got another new face. First time Coco is coming into the stream. Coco, hope you're ready. Ready or not? Here.
Coco, beware. Used to be
how are you, my brother? Let us know where you're calling from and how you are.
I'm good, mate. How are you? I'm calling all the way from India. It's 5 a.m. over here.
Big up, man.
Wow.
4, 5 a.m. in the morning, Grizz.
Which part of India, my brother?
It's central India, Bhopal.
Okay.
Is that near Bangalore? Coco?
No, Bangalore is down south, guys.
Complete opposite ends of the country, Grizz.
Avi, Coco, Avi does this. If he was in the chat, he would say, "Yeah, that's my friend Coco from India. I know him very well." Yeah, he does this. But
yeah,
what would you like to
but a
speak
big,
about, my brother?
big shout out to Grease, man. I've been following you on Twitter for a while, and it's an honor to be here and talk to you guys.
It's an honor to have you on the show, my brother. It's an honor to have you on the show.
So I'm not sure if this point has been touched on before. I see a lot on Twitter, like the fan base is split between FSG outers and FSG inners. But I'd like to commend FSG for one thing, which is like we've been poaching a lot of young talent from different academies all over the country, which is something which I really like. Even outside, we poach Vandenberg, Kiana Hoover. Now these people may not go and play for Liverpool, but they're turning us a profit in the transfer market. Like we sold Hoover for like 10 million. We bought him from Ajax for 1 million. Vandenberg, he's having a good season at Preston right now. Harvey Elliott, Kate Gordon from Derby. So I think this part of the strategy which FSG or Edwards are implementing now, Julian Ward, it's pretty commendable now. Even Fabian Carvalho, poaching all the young talent from all the top academies, I think that's the way to go because we can't compete with the Man Cities and splash out 120 million. So I think this is some part of the strategy by FSG that we really need to commend.
This is totally over to Evan. This is totally because he loves this shit. And he makes some brilliant points, Coco. And Evan, I know you want to.
So Coco, remind me, is the question more about my opinion on FSG? Is that sort of where you were getting at?
Yeah, I just wanted to know, what do you think? Like, is this the way we can compete in the long term with clubs like City, Chelsea, poaching young talent when they're young and helping us stay competitive in the transfer market as well? Because we surely can't spend out 100 million every transfer window like these clubs do.
Gotcha. Okay, so I think there's a compelling and valid argument to be made that Liverpool have outgrown the FSG model. FSG have done exquisitely well to get us to where we are today, just in terms of our valuation as a club. But you could absolutely argue that in a post-Newcastle takeover world, it won't be enough. You know what I mean? Because it's nothing short of extraordinary what we've been able to do in terms of growing our brand and recruiting well. So I think FSG deserve credit in that realm. And my general thoughts on ownership is that it's not as black and white as people make it out to be. It's immensely complex. It's ridiculously complicated. You can criticize FSG when they deserve criticism, and I definitely have, and you can praise them when they deserve praise, which I definitely have. I am eager to see just how the Newcastle rebuild works out, because on paper they are so insanely more wealthy than anybody in world football at the moment that it could take some more financial backing for us to keep up with that. There obviously is a limit to the magic that you could work under Klopp and Edwards and now Julian Ward. So in terms of FSG in or FSG out, I am neither. And the truth, as in everything in life, it lies somewhere in the middle. So that's just my general thoughts on FSG and ownership.
Avi, Coco makes some brilliant points about sort of the way, not for the way forward, but part of a transfer strategy for most clubs. For all good clubs has to be keeping eye on future talent in terms of, especially the best ones that Coco just mentioned. And look, I was biggest critic of Vandenberg. I made a bold claim when I think we signed him, or after watching him for about 5-6 games in the reserves. And
against Arsenal in the Carabao Cup, he was horrible in that 5-5 draw.
But Coco, I went
out of place.
went further. I said he will never ever play for Liverpool in the Premier League. I may live to regret that, Avi, because the reports suggest that he's been superb for Preston, and it just shows you that young players, it's mad. And I'll first slap me. Can you slap me, please, Avi? Because I've slapped you.
No, I wouldn't do that.
No, slap me back. I dare you to slap me back.
No, I wouldn't do that.
All right, okay. But what I'm saying is, you should never write off a young player like that, right? Because that's a prime example.
You shouldn't, Grizz, like, to be honest. But then you've got people like me who like sort of big up every youngster that comes through our door. Who's at a League Cup game. You know, I'm bigging up Bobby Clark already, and I don't want to put pressure on the youngster. But it is, I think it's important, Coco, for our model, you know, that we invest in youth, because you look at someone like Cade Gordon, and you know, I don't want to put the markers on him, and I'm touching wood here, but if he goes on and becomes the sort of next sort of breakout star, you know, we're looking at someone who we've invested 2 million, and you know, in 5-6 years down the line, he could be worth 50, 60, 70 million. You know, just all about their growth. But someone like Ryan Brewster, Grizz, we brought him from Chelsea's academy. Well, not brought him, but you know, we signed him from the Chelsea academy at like 15, 16. You know, spent 3-4 years, didn't make that breakthrough, had 2 nasty injuries, yet we recouped 24 million from Sheffield Wednesday. So we've got to prioritize the academy. People talk about Cobham as if, you know, they're the pinnacle, and yes, they churn out talent and they sell the talent for money, but I don't think we're in a bad spot either. When you look at the likes of Harry Wilson's coming through, we do recoup good money. Sepp van der Berg, you know, yeah, he's had consistent football, and who would have thought it at right back, you know, where he's shining. Everyone thought centre back, you know, when he came from, I think it was Zwolle that he came from in the Dutch league. And Jaap Stam said, I'm not sure if, you know, he's ready for even like playing in like the under 23 level, right? It was evident that he wasn't, because he had a few games with us, like you mentioned, the Carabao Cup, but he's gone to Preston, and he might, you never know, there might be an offer in the summer where someone comes in and say, you know what, we'll pay 8-10 million for him. There might be Fulham who, you know, Fulham might have an agreement saying, if we get promoted and Nico Williams pushes on here, we'll give Liverpool 10 million. And what's he cost us? That's like 18 million there. I'm just saying hypothetically that we could get for Nico and Sepp van der Berg. We wouldn't have been saying that about 18 months ago. So it is important that our academy goes and we invest in youth, because we do want 2-3 talents coming through, like the Harvey Elliots, like the Curtis Jones, like the likes of, like, you know, Cade Gordon, or, you know, the Bobby Clarks, and dare I say Leighton Clarksons. But, you know, it's all the model, and you've got to give FSG, but you've got to give the appointments that FSG have made, like the Alex Inglethorpes, the Vitos Matoses, who have come from Portugal to bring that all together at Kirby.
Coco, is there anything else that you want to touch upon, my brother?
Just one small point I wanted to end with. I was hearing a discussion earlier about Sadio and Bobby. I'd personally keep them both and let them. I see no value in selling Sadio for 20 million, because next year I think
value. We won't sell him for 20 million. Ignore that. Whoever said
Next year, I think is our best shot at winning all the 4 trophies. Like, I think we might have a good shot this year as well. But next year, I think if we don't sell anyone in the summer, we have a good shot at competing on all fronts. And I'd rather let Sadio leave on free than sell him for 20 million. That was my 2 cents on that. Like, we've anyway extracted complete value out of the 35 million we paid Southampton. So might as well run his contract out. He's anyway going to be 31. So I don't see any sense in selling him.
We will not sell him for 20 million. Absolutely, Coco. I'm totally agreement with you. And,
Grizz, then a rebuttal to that, then Grizz. If there is a value on him, how much would you sell him for?
40 minimum
for a 30-year-old. Last year of his contract.
Yeah, absolutely, okay. 40 million. We just bought Thiago for older, more legs, more energy legs for 25 million. You're talking about an attacker who
and he never
has
gets
high
injured.
value automatically, who's still banging in goals for country and club, creating, working. His statistics are still the same. To the eye test, he's not your flavor of the month. But to sell him for 20 million, especially when he's got only a year and a half left on his contract, makes no sense. We'd rather keep an asset like that.
Yeah, I think 20 million is a insanely low number. I don't think the club even come to the table for that.
No, they don't even come to the table.
I think the club come to the table starting at, I would say, even higher than Grizz, 45, 50, to be honest. Grizz is right. The going rate for proven quality in the early 30s range with the short amount of time left on the contract, there's just no logical consistency for Sadio to go for 20. We're talking 40 to 50.
Guys, Dele Alli has just gone for 40 million price tag on his, like, if they choose to buy him.
They got him on loan though initially, right?
Yeah. Dele Alli, 40 million. Now come on. But Coco, it's been wonderful chatting to you, my brother. I know
Cheers, mate. Thanks for having me.
6 a.m.
It's 5 a.m.
5 a.m.
Wow.
Try and get some sleep, my brother. Look after yourself.
Nice talking to you, man.
Lovely chatting to you. Take care.
That's a 4 a.m. start for me and you, Evan, on Sundays. It's just as worse.
We got a super chat from TAVFC, Aston Villa Football Club.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. How do Everton spend so much money consistently but don't end up reaping the rewards? What's wrong with their recruitment and business model as a club? Have we got long enough?
I think their biggest problem is that they're Everton, and that's
always a.
So they're already in the hole being Everton. They're already like negative 20 points. On top of that, their upper management, like the people who own and run the club, are well out of their depth. And just being Everton, the managers and players they can attract, it's always subpar. So it's pretty simple.
Pretty simple, right?
Yeah.
How much was Alex Iwobi when he signed for Everton? Was
like
35
to 40.
Million. There's no model there. They can buy all the sporting directors. Who's that Marcel Janssen guy they sacked?
Yeah.
It's a shit show club.
Yeah, exactly. Kevin says, we need a whole show to speak about Everton. We would never dedicate a show to Everton, but I know what you mean. I know what you mean, Kevin. We got Ronaldinho is the GOAT. It's been waiting quite a long while. How are you, my friend? Hope you're still there.
Hey, what's going on, fam?
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, Ronaldinho.
Good. So yeah, just to quickly jump on to what's been discussed in terms of the Mane Firmino situation. I definitely agree with Evan in the sense that Firmino is very special in terms of traits. How many proper false nines are there in the world right now?
Not many.
Right. And I also think when he's on the pitch, our football, I wouldn't say it makes us automatically better, but it's just more entertaining. I think our playing style, attacking wise, is just not the same without him being around, making play, providing these passes, these 1-2s. So I think he's definitely crucial in that aspect.
Absolutely.
So let's switch it on you. Thiago. How would you set up going into the next season, assuming, or let's speculate that we don't sell no one, and let's say you have for example, the first Champions League game, and we get drawn to, I don't know, Juventus. Who are you picking as your front three then, considering you've spoken so highly of Bobby? Now that we've got Luis Diaz, who'll be, we're assuming he's been settled in by then as well. We've got Mane, we've got Mo, and we've got everyone else. Who's your three?
Right. Well, assuming we keep everyone, which I personally think is what's going to happen, because the reason for that is, you look at Klopp. Klopp has certain players that he loves and will do everything he can to play them. We saw what happened with Tsimikas and Robertson, where he was like, Robbo is Robbo, right? And people say that Jota has taken over Firmino. I don't think that's correct. I think Firmino is actually on track for his best season this year, but he got injured. And so I think if Bobby's fully fit, then he might actually rotate both of them.
Mustafa reminds me I called you Thiago. That's because maybe I think Thiago is the GOAT and not Ronaldinho. No, I'm joking. Sorry. But yeah, look, I don't know. Avi, what do you think, man?
Sorry, Chris, I was watching Diaz just came, nearly scored, so I was sorry about that. He's talking about Bobby. I know he's talking about
the stream right now.
I know he was talking about Bobby. No,
So, Evan, talk to me, man.
So, I love that, Ronaldinho GOAT agrees with me in the sense that Firmino has some irreplaceable traits. How many true false nines are there in world football? Not many. I think I've said it on the show before. The only one who I think is truly a like-for-like Firmino replacement is João Felix, and there's just zero chance of us getting him out of Atletico Madrid with that contract and that price tag. So, yeah, I'm still in the let's keep Firmino camp because he's unique. And I think, like I said, 60th minute, if you come bring one of the only true false nines in world football on, that's a curveball that the opposition might not be expecting. So, yeah, my stance hasn't been changed. I respect everybody in the chat who disagrees. And I just want to clarify that, I don't, throw any disrespect on Mane's name. I was one of his biggest defenders in the last summer, where people were saying, let's sell him for 40 million. I thought Mane deserves our patience and our gratitude. And if he's the one who ends up staying and Firmino is the one who ends up leaving come summer, you will not hear a peep from me because I am happy with both scenarios. But I do think that we are in the last season of the traditional front three.
No, absolutely. Avi, just a very quick question that you will probably be the best person to ask on this panel. So, like we were discussing while you was just watching other things and doing other things while we were engaging in the Call-in Khan show. One of the questions Ronaldinho is the GOAT asked was sort of who can play that Bobby role. I know you think there's a few in world football right now that could possibly play that Bobby Firmino role. So fill us in with that.
I think the obvious one would be Lautaro Martinez. And I think he can do that role. He's a workhorse, I thought he had a great Copa America. He played really well. I think Mateus Cunha, I think he's a good player. I think he could do a job. But I know this man, Evan thinks highly of, and I know Evan's done a show on him. So if you guys want a more in detail spec on Christian Nkunku, go ahead to Soccer God, because he did a whole segment, I believe, on Christian Nkunku, and he believes he could be a Bobby replacement. Evan, am I right?
To be honest, I see Nkunku as a midfielder in Klopp's system, but the beauty of signing Nkunku is that he can play anywhere from the 8 position upward. There are no square pegs and round holes going in that direction.
But I think just quickly on this, I don't think we will exactly look for a Bobby replacement. Yes, we will look at some characteristics, but if we've seen this season, Jota, when he's played predominantly in the 9, he hasn't really pressed like Bobby does, and the link up play, connecting the midfield to the forwards. We've played slightly different to that. And yeah, sometimes it's helped having Thiago in there as well, because of the baseline passes that they play, that we can get more forward and we can create more in the final third. So that number 9 in that specific game doesn't have to drop back like Bobby does. So I think we will just sort of maybe look at alternatives, but someone who can, maybe press when we need to from the front.
I think one of your players that you rave on about and you've spoken about today and you compared him to Sadio Mane, which was ludicrous, but I think Guri can play. Absolutely can play the body.
Why is it ludicrous that he's played from the
sorry.
left all his career?
No,
He
but
only
I'm
played
saying,
9 this season.
but to say he's better than Sadio Mane right now is ludicrous. That's also meant. You know,
The goals he scored.
he's operating in one of the worst standard leagues around Europe. Like French league is disgusting. Honestly, even PSG are losing to
Ream.
Yeah.
No, I think look, Guri can do that role, and I would love an Amin Guri. At 21, he would be, the next sort of ideal option for me. But again, I don't think he will press like Bobby does. He's a different kind of player as well. He's a player with pace, player who likes running with the ball, dribbling with the ball. Tries attacking the defenders. Bobby doesn't do that as much. Bobby's more about getting that link up play, the 1-2s, and then press like he does. But no, I think Guri would be my first choice if.
I need to bump in here and say that when we're trying to replace Firmino. Oh, sorry, just fucked up
you
my
get
mic.
your mic in order first.
when we're trying to replace Firmino, we're not necessarily just trying to make up for pressures and how much someone runs. Let's be honest. Any attacker that we bring into our system is going to run as much as the other guys. That's the bare minimum that we ask of them. When I talk about Firmino's unique player profile, I'm talking about someone who can just do link ups and get out of corners that no one else can. Like, he's just a nightmare to come up against. I trust any attacker, like I said, is going to come in and run their socks off. That's a given. And so that's why I would say Lautaro Martinez is not a Firmino replacement in that sense. Yes, he's a pressing forward. Yes, he can run his socks off for 120 minutes if needed. But I'm looking for someone who back to goal, 45 yards out, can eyes in the back of the head, those types of traits.
Absolutely. Lautaro Martinez is not that guy for that role, in my opinion, as well.
I love him as a player, and I would take him in a heartbeat, but not
Ronaldinho is the GOAT. I'm sorry we've taken over your question, but if you're still there, I would suggest, I think I would, and obviously I don't know if Klopp will, but I think I would give Luis Diaz a chance of evolving into that type of player. I don't know what you think.
Right. I mean, like I'm saying, knowing Klopp, I think that's going to take some time. I think a lot of people are assuming that because he's such a bright prospect and he's a great talent, that he's just going to come through and take over Mane's spot. We've seen what happened with Fabinho. We've seen what happened with a bunch of players, actually, that then just slot in the side. So, by next year, who's to say what's the situation with Mane, whether he's still there. I would personally still start Mane. I think he's, even if he's not been great for the past couple of seasons, he's always a threat. And then look to ease Diaz in the side.
Oh, Grizz.
No, you shouldn't have said anything. You should just let him.
Oh, Grizz. No,
I didn't say nothing.
You're mute.
I didn't say anything though.
Oh,
I just spoke. I didn't say anything. I was speaking to the family.
Oh,
okay.
Gotcha.
Fair enough.
Gotcha.
You got me. You didn't get me. That's the problem. You tried to get me.
Whatever you say.
But Ronaldinho is the GOAT. Thank you very much for calling, man. Enjoyed chatting to you as usual.
For real. Same here, guys.
Talk to yourself, man. Take care.
Nice talking to you, man. See ya.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got John Moore in the building. Let's go. John, how are you, my friend?
Not bad, man. How's you?
Good. We're not too bad. We've put in quite a shift today, but we're still here. What would you like to speak?
Love your channel, mate. Love your channel.
Thank you very much.
What I don't get is why people talk about selling players. All because we're saying Diaz. I thought Liverpool fans wanted depth in the squad. So as soon as we sign someone, we have to sell someone.
I don't think that's necessarily the thinking behind it. I think the thinking behind it is we have two players, on the coming up on the wrong side of 30, and we simply cannot afford to renew them both. So our hand could be forced into selling. I think everyone wants to keep as many players at the club as possible, especially it's just a matter of, can you ask Sadio Mane to stay at the club without renewing his contract, potentially playing second fiddle to Luis Diaz? Can you ask Joe Gomez to stay at the club, potentially being fourth choice center back when he might think of himself as second best? So it's just a question of respecting players' wishes, getting the best business value for them. Trust me, I'm right there with you, bro. I'm in no rush to get rid of any type of depth.
I get the Gomez one. I completely understand the Gomez one because he deserves to play football. But in terms of Mane, Bobby, and Salah, I don't understand it. Because Bobby, for me, if you were to have a new deal, he'd probably take a pay cut to stay at Liverpool.
That's not bad. I think Bobby, that's not a bad.
Bobby would probably take a pay cut.
That was my prediction too. I mean, it's come up a couple times this show. I personally think the club would sell Mane this next window and offer Bobby like a minimum extension, like we've been doing Milner, just 1 year at a time for as long as you want to stay. So I'm right there with you.
I think guys,
why sell Mane? But
me personally, I just think that he represents a higher value in the market. I think Luis Diaz is really similar. Again, this is what I think the club is going to do. This is not what I want to do. I want to keep as many options around as possible.
No, of course.
But what I think the club are going to do is they might identify that Firmino is more rare of a profile. He's more content, perhaps being second choice. Mane has a lot of resale value. I'm just, again, I don't know anything. I'm just some random dude on the internet. That's just what I think the club's going to do.
You're not random. You're not
I
random.
agree with what you're saying. But again, this comes down to FSG.
No, John, I think
policy.
John, I tell you what it is, John. I think someone mentioned it, that Sadio Mane's contract right now is around 100k a week. Yeah, and I'm not saying he's motivated by money, but he's probably thinking at himself, look, if I'm not going to get a new contract, and if I do leave this season, he could probably pick up 200k somewhere else. That's 400k more a month.
He should have been on a higher contract. Remember, he's on.
Yeah. There's that argument too. That he should be on more wages. But unfortunately, it's just the way of the world where we're waiting, until the summer, and we've not proposed anything on the table thus far. That we're all thinking that he probably is the one that could go. I just feel with Bobby, I think him and the family want to spend 2-3 years out in Spain. You could say that it's on good intel or whatever, but I just think he will see 2-3 years out in Spain and then go back to Brazil to retire.
I think Bobby wants to stay as long as Liverpool want him.
Of course,
Bobby will stay.
John, you said earlier, it's like you brought it back to FSG, right? And you said that it's their policy. So which club, and I want to ask you, which ownership hasn't got that policy where they sell players, not to specifically buy players, but sell players and replace players? So this is not a buy to sell policy in place here, John. I think the case with these guys, it's an evolution of players. So it's not, we're not selling anything anyway. But what I mean is the club's not selling these players to buy more players. I just genuinely think they may believe, like some of us have said in the past, that we've absolutely seen the best of Sadio Mane and Bobby Firmino. And they won't reach those levels that they've reached in the last 4 or 5 years. Would you agree with that, at least?
I agree with what you're saying. But we've seen in the past, Liverpool are bag to sell. We so continue to buy Van Dijk.
Isn't that any line of...
But this is my point to you. Tell me which club hasn't done that.
Chelsea do. Chelsea balance the books by selling.
Chelsea don't sell players to go buy.
They absolutely do, John.
They've sold some good money. They've got some good money for some of
them. They sell players, but they don't need to sell them to buy some players.
No. You will see that their net spend. You will see their net spend is last 18 months is worse than ours.
I think they got 23 for Guhi to Palace, and who's the Tomori who went to Milan think
John,
of
what it
15
is,
to 18
sometimes we
million.
focus on our own club too much and we get frustrated and caught up in the moment.
No, I totally agree with you. I totally
And
agree.
there's only a few clubs in world football that are not in a position to do
Yeah.
or work the
No, I
way we
totally
work.
agree. I
And
totally agree with you.
that would be the Man City, the PSGs that are run by countries as opposed to, you know.
But what I'm saying
private
is,
owners.
had Liverpool not signed Diaz this window, pressure would have been on FSG. So they signed him to take the pressure off Lemons a bit. So we'll see what happens in the summer. If Liverpool don't move in the summer and improve, if the Liverpool could sell Salah, toxic, which I hope never happens. If we sell Salah to pay for Diaz, are you happy?
No, of course not. But who would be
I
happy?
just
But
don't
that's not
see
happening, is it, John? John, why are you
Yeah.
thinking of the worst case scenarios? Tell me that.
Pardon?
Why are you thinking of the worst case scenarios?
Because it's FSG. We've done it time and time again.
Listen, here's the thing. I want to jump in now. I think when you talk about us needing to sell a player to fund a summer transfer, or any type of spending in the summer, just based on the financial figures that were released within the last 30 days, Liverpool have an excess of 230 million to play with in the summer if they want to spend it. So in terms of us being strapped for cash, that's just objectively false.
The day before we signed Diaz, what came out?
Remind me.
The very day before we signed Diaz, what came out?
Remind me. I'm asking.
Nick gave us 70 million from Churchill's. Then out blue, we signed Diaz.
Finances just don't work that way. I'm sorry.
So no, but if Liverpool were receiving 70 million from Nick, then therefore Nick paid for Diaz, not FSG.
No, finances work differently.
Hold on, Avi, I'm not done. Even before that, Jonathan, like I said, the figures came out 230 million excess to play with,
yes,
for the coming calendar year. That's before any announcement of Nike money. That's before the announcement of anything, totally agree, really.
But it's suspicious why it happened the day before.
No. Now you're going.
I get finances don't work that way.
John, look, we'll end this part of the conversation. I tell you what it is. Look, we've signed Luis Diaz, yeah. So now going into the last 5-6 months,
we're all happy, but we all agree.
Yeah,
we're happy.
I tell you where we end this. Look, going into the last 5-6 months, we're still in with a shout of the Champions League, the Premiership, right? That's not over. We're in the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup. If we've got Jota, Salah, Mane, Bobby, and Diaz, that 5, right? We can go and attack all 4 competitions.
No, for me, I think we're winning the league. We're winning all 4 trophies.
That's what we need. That's the kind of positivity and energy that
we're
we
winning
need. John.
All 4 trophies.
Look, John, I get what you're saying.
I get what you're saying.
John, I get what you're saying, but would you agree? How long have you been supporting Liverpool?
I support Liverpool since the day I was born. I'm 35 years old now.
So about 70 years, yeah? I'm joking. I'm joking, John. But listen, you've been supporting Liverpool, and would you say, hand on heart, that this is the best set of attackers that you've experienced in your lifetime? Mane, Bobby, Jota, Mo, and Luis Diaz now. And not forgetting Origi and Taki as 7th or 8th choices now. 6th or 7th choice, sorry.
Hey, don't do any slander on Taki.
Collection of the best attack.
Completely 100%.
And who has got this attack for you?
I get where you're going here.
Well, it's not going. I'm asking. It's fact. It's right in front of you.
No, it is FSG.
Who has got this? Who has got this
FSG
attack for you?
Or is it Klopp?
Who's assembled this attack for you?
Jurgen Klopp.
It's not.
And who got Jurgen Klopp? Who got Jurgen Klopp then?
But they had no choice no matter. They had to.
No, John,
no,
I think
they absolutely.
John, it's a collective thing. I think now is not the time. Look, FSG have made mistakes. We've said this previously. They've made mistakes. They've made, they've done the good and they've done bad as well. But I think what it is right now, they've sort of, look, we should have got an attacker in last summer, right? They've made up for it. Not made up for it, but you know what? They're working on it. And I think this summer we'll go again. I'm sure we'll spend again,
Last-
we'll spend a
last
considerable
January.
amount. Yeah.
Last January when we were down out for a defender.
But okay,
Who
okay,
did
but
we
they wanted
sign?
to wait. No, John. Let me get a rebuttal to that. Yes, we wanted a defender, but the defender that we wanted, Leipzig weren't going to get rid of him. Our number one choice, according to Klopp, was always Ibrahima Konate.
Yes.
I think Grizz mentioned
But
that he
how
was
can
tracked
that lost
18
him
months
6
before we got
games
him.
at home? We would have won the league.
But who? Okay. Our board is saying to Jurgen Klopp, "Here's our defenders. We can't get Konate." And if he turns around and says to the board, or Julian Ward or Michael Edwards, and says, "I only wanted Konate," whose fault's that then? You can't blame because it's obvious we waited for Konate. We didn't judge Konate on the basis of the 2 Champions League games last season that we saw him. Obviously, we've done a track on him. We've looked at his
No, I
statistics
fully
and
agree.
thought for the
I
last
fully
year that
give
we've
what you're
looked at.
saying. I do.
So if we've given Klopp all the options, we had options like Loic Bade, David Carmo from Portugal. We gave him other options, and he has said no. I'd rather get just some steady eddies in, or just a stopgap in, like a Kabak.
But do
and
you
a
really
Ben-
think Jurgen
No,
Klopp
I think he genuinely waited. I think Grizz will tell you that Klopp genuinely wanted to wait for
We
Ibrahima
have
Konate.
But do you think he
we
picked them defenders he got?
we
Do
have
you think
numerous
Jurgen
Sorry,
Klopp
John.
picked
we have
them
sorry
defenders he got?
we have numerous cases of Klopp waiting multiple windows for the players
No, of
that he
course.
wants.
Van
But
Dijk.
did he
Klopp
pick
is stubborn
the
enough.
defenders that he got?
Oh
I'm
yes, Evan, that's it. He's out. Grizz is
No,
gone.
yeah, we
Sorry,
got control of the
yeah.
show.
Go
Yeah,
on,
but
Go on,
no,
Evan.
here's the thing. We have substantial evidence of him waiting for players at
Of course.
to like being stubborn
Van
to the
Dijk,
point.
Like
Yeah,
Allison.
being stubborn to the point where it's detrimental to the club. I will say one of my criticisms of Klopp is at times his short list of players that he wants is too small. I would
But
urge
did he
Jurgen.
pick
Sorry,
the
go
guy
ahead.
from Preston?
Did he pick the guy from?
Again, that
Well, here's the thing. Our recruitment model is based kind of just not only on just what Jurgen Klopp wants, but he's willing to take suggestions from other people. Keep in mind, if it wasn't for the likes of Michael Edwards, Julian Ward, and the army of analysts that we have, Klopp would have gotten Julian Brandt instead of Mohamed Salah.
Yeah.
Klopp had to
No,
be
but
talked
your
into
whole-
him.
your-
Götze in
your
front of
whole
Mane.
argument is
John,
if Klopp
Götze
doesn't
was
want
the
him,
first
Klopp will
option
wait.
before Mane.
But
Sorry,
we
John.
saying Diaz. No, saying that fucking Davis from Preston.
It's just
yeah.
the way, look, John. It's just sometimes the way the model works. Klopp,
No,
unfortunately.
I completely agree with everything you
But,
just
but
said.
so
Everything you said,
what
I agree
are
with.
what's your point about Ben Davies again? What do you not like about it?
But saying Davis from Preston,
Yeah, what about it? What
he never
about
played.
that? Well, yeah, of course.
If you read Klopp's first press conference when we confirmed the Ben Davies, you could tell just by the wording that he didn't want him at the club. He didn't
So
want to.
why did we sign him? If the managers don't want to play, why sign him?
Because here's the thing, our situation was so desperate, we needed an insurance policy. It wasn't pretty. Don't get me wrong, bro. It was not pretty, and it's definitely not the situation we wanted to be in. But we were desperate, and let's be honest, the January window is the window of the desperate. And here's the thing: if we're willing to wait for Konate, even in that, and this is what I was saying, where it's Klopp is stubborn and willing to wait to the point where it's occasionally detrimental. There could
totally agree with I totally agree with saying. All I'm saying is that I will hold my FSG have done not much wrong for Liverpool. I will hold judgment until the summer.
Good,
and that's
cool.
totally fine. I agree with that too. They've still got work to do. We can't just be.
I could never forgive them after what they did with the European Super League.
Well, that's a different conversation to be had, John. But John, thanks very much because John Grizz laptop has actually died. We're gonna have to carry the chat because there's one more person that we want to get.
But anyway,
Joseph and
both of you, I agree with everything you said, and I appreciate you both.
No, God bless you.
Yeah, nice talking to you, man. Good talking to you.
God bless you, mate. Thank
Appreciate
you.
this.
Thanks, John. So his laptop's there, so we can go on to
okay.
We got an all-nighter.
What sort of so Avi, you'll change the password and I'll
Yeah, you start doing the admin work. Hey Joseph, how's it going? Where are you calling from, mate?
I'm calling from Nigeria. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
How's everything?
Everything's good. Everything's good.
Fantastic.
How did Nigeria get on in the AFCON quarterfinals? Was it?
Oh, don't remind me of that.
He says we won't talk about it.
You go again in a couple of years.
Yeah. I called last week, and I was extremely unhappy last week when I called with the whole Diaz going to Spurs,
Spurs.
and it was someone I really wanted at Liverpool, and it was annoying. I was angry with FSG and everything. Well, I'm belated. I'm extremely happy. I'm extremely happy. This is what I've always wanted for our club, to have top class additions. Jurgen should look to the bench, and he should have top class options to bring on, and there should be options to push players. If when man is having like a bad run of games, even if maybe I stand corrected, but when you know that, okay, if I have a bad game, or a couple of bad games, there is someone knocking at the door behind me to take my place, it actually increases your level of competition. You look at City. One player can have like an extended run of bad games and continue to start. It's not it's not possible there, and that's what I always wanted at the club, and I'm extremely happy we finally got that. And just as I was saying last week when I called, it's not that we're asking for too much. We're not asking for FSG to meet the spending standard or the spending power of City. We are not that rich. We are not asking for Haaland or Mbappe. We can't afford that. We understand, and what we always after. I always felt we could do was smart business. Someone like theirs,
Yeah, I'll just
smart
just
business.
take this.
Someone we know that
Yeah.
and someone that I know will be good competition for the likes of Mane, the likes of Jota, the likes of Salah. I'm very happy with that. Some people will see, oh, maybe they should have brought him earlier. Yeah, they should have brought him earlier in the summer. Yeah, but the main thing is that he's here, and that's what's most important. And we can look forward to the rest of the season with good positivity. We are still in we are still in four competitions. The league is not impossible. It's not impossible. Yes, it's not in our hands. It's City's title to lose, but yeah, that pressure is not on us. All we have to do is concentrate on ourselves, win our games, and see where it takes us. And it's possible. We win our game in hand. That's 3 points.
You just
If
never
you can
know.
keep it, even if it's 6 points before the game at the Etihad, and God help us, we win that game at the Etihad and make it 3 points, the pressure is going to be extreme on City, and anything is possible. Anything is possible. There are lots of games to be played between now and then. Anything is possible. So I like that. It's going to bring fresh competition to the squad, and it's all good. It's all good. I'm really happy.
It's
Totally
crazy.
great.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy what a week can do, right, guys? Because a week ago, Joseph, you said you were upset because you thought Spurs were going to beat us to Diaz. I definitely did. I definitely didn't think we were going to.
A week ago, you had a moustache, and look what
Exactly.
the
Look at how the world changes. It's a crazy
Oh,
world, If you don't look, if you don't look around every once in a while, you're gonna miss out on some things. But I'm right there with you, Joseph.
I wanted Diaz. That was my favorite.
Yeah.
My
I'm right there with
favorite
you. I think
club.
you're right when you say that Diaz
Yeah, my
offers,
favorite.
competition. We don't want anybody in the squad being too comfortable. I think we've already seen the benefits of that this season. If you guys remember, Robertson comes into the season off an injury. He's in poor form towards the start of the season, and here we go. Kostas Tsimikas gets a run in the team. He looks great, and now in turn, Robertson gets out of the firing line. He rests up a little bit, and look at his form now. Eight assists in the last 8 games. Right back up on his perch as the best left back in the world. So it's just little supplementary signings. You're right, Joseph. I don't think any Liverpool fan who's realistic is asking for an Mbappe every window. We just want a few more of those players like in the Diaz Jota price range to keep the level of competition high, to keep the depth from reaching a point of DEFCON 6 or whatever. So yeah, I think our demands are entirely reasonable, and I think I speak for most of the chat too. We're all pretty realistic when it comes to what we want from the club.
100%. And look, that's what Evans hit the nail on the head. And so, Joseph, you've made some great points. Look, we just want a refresh. Every so often a player comes in, and look, we've brought in Thiago, the Jotas, the Simikases, and the Kanates, and the Diaz's. Yes, not collectively, and maybe it's like 1 addition or 2 additions every summer, but there is planning behind. People were saying that this aging squad, but now I look at the likes of Harvey Elliott, Trent, Konate, Diaz, coming in at 25, Jota's 25. There is forward planning for
Exactly.
when, unfortunately, when Klopp
The right
holds it.
profile of players.
Yeah, that's what it is. Finding the right profile player. And those might not be superstars. Everyone, of course, we would love a Mbappe in Holland, but we work in a different way, and we all accept that. As long as they come in and we do business when we need to, then we can achieve anything. And this, with 5-6 months to go now, who says we can't do a double or even, dare I say, a treble? We can win trophies, and with Diaz's addition, we've got every chance. Just want to read out this super chat before we go from Samanuski. There you go.
There you go.
Jan 2021 was an awful window. Hopefully we've learned.
I'm sure we did, but I want to hear from Joseph. Now that we got your guy Diaz in, who is your number 1 target for the summer? Where's your head at there?
For the summer, for me, I would love to see what's up with the Mane situation. With Mane and Firmino, I want to see what's up with their deals. Like it or not, many of us, it's true. Yeah, Mane is no longer at that level.
Mm-hmm.
He's no longer at that level where he was the season where he won the league, and the season before that. He's no longer at that level. But even Mane at this level, he's still a beast.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can still put money, put money on the market, and teams will be bidding 40 million pounds for money, 50 million pounds for money. He's still good, and he has a lot of experience. I want to see
just a last question to you, and then I'll ask the same question to Evan. If there's one player realistically you think that you'd like to come this summer, who would it be? One name.
Jude Bellingham, of course, man.
Jude Bellingham. Wow, okay, that was quick.
Bellingham, man.
That was
Evan.
Oh
the chat. If you guys don't know, if the chat doesn't know where I stand on the summer now, then you guys don't know me yet. I'm a Christopher Nkunku ultra. I think he ticks so many boxes, and I think he comes for a realistic price tag as well.
Good man.
Yeah.
For me, he's the perfect replacement for Firmino. If you need someone to replace Firmino eventually, he's the perfect replacement.
Can play anywhere as well. It's great.
I'm still sold on Bellingham.
Yeah. Joseph,
every time I watch him, he blows me.
Unfortunately, I've got Grizz texting me saying close the show now. But thank you for coming on. Please come on next time. Hopefully we get another call-in show for next week. But thank you. God bless. And again, I'm sorry that Nigeria, are not in the semis or the final. But hopefully we see a Senegal and Egypt final. It would be bittersweet.
That's what I want. I hope we get that though.
God bless, mate. Thank you.
Nice talking to you, Joseph.
Man. God bless, mate.
See you next time, man.
What a show! Wrap up. Lautaro Martinez just scored. Lautaro Martinez just scored as well.
Exactly. Oh man, conflicting emotions. I
thought I'd let you know, but it's a good show. His Wi-Fi apparently was playing up.
But so now that he's gone, apparently the show.
Someone's changed the web key from his next door neighbor. So
yeah. So I guess the show must go on. Only applies.
Should we do the draft? Should we do the draft that you've organized?
Yeah, let's do the draft right now.
Can we do it with one player? But no, look, it's been a good show, guys. Another call in hopefully next week. So much is coming, even though we've got FA Cup on Sunday, obviously Red Fellas, but we've got a draft. Just deciding on the day, everyone's playing, fiddly thumbs. Don't know what day they want to do the draft, but we've got
there's a lot of negotiating for the draft. We got the likes of Conroy and Keith. They're cards close to chest. They're being very unyielding right now. So we're not sure when the draft is going to be, but it's highly requested, and we saw how much you guys liked the first draft. I mean, the views and the interaction speaks for itself. So we're really looking forward to the next one.
And in terms of we've got the new show, The Young Bucks, Evan, which will be hosted by Omer and Ben. So big up them. That's going to be their sort of first show on Thursday. So that will be good. I think Grizz might even pop in for a few minutes to make sure they're all right in that show. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled, guys. And yeah, we will see you on, I think, when am I on next? I think on Friday or Saturday, depending on the draft. And then we'll see you guys on Sunday. God bless, guys. Thank you.
All right, guys. Till next time.